think we all knew that Pascal Siakam was not going to be on the Toronto Raptors by the trade deadline. The Raptors already dealt OG Anunoby to the Knicks, and the Raptors were not interested in giving Siakam a long-term, near-max contract. But the Raptors could not afford to lose Siakam for nothing like they did with Fred VanVleet, so it was just a matter of time until he was traded. The Pacers were one of the rumored teams in the Pascal Siakam trade market, but I had not seen anything concrete, and it seemed like the Atlanta Hawks were the frontrunners in this race. But the Indiana Pacers swooped in with a deal the Raptors just could not refuse, so Pascal Siakam is an Indiana Pacer for the rest of this season, and I assume in the foreseeable future. The details of the trade you can see right now. It's Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, Kyra Lewis Jr. from the Pelicans, 2024 and 2026 Pacers firsts, and a 2024 worst of the Jazz, Clippers, Rockets, and Thunder first. In exchange for all that, they got Pascal Siakam and a second round pick from the New Orleans Pelicans, who just received some cash considerations, I think. So let's break this down, starting from the Toronto Raptors perspective. In the last 30 days, they have traded OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam, and if I'm Masai Ujiri, I love the return I got for these two guys. Overall, you turn them into RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, Bruce Brown, Jordan Nwora, 3 future firsts, and a second round pick. Pairing all of that with Scottie Barnes, they have a nice start to a rebuild already. Scottie Barnes is playing close to an all-star level this season. RJ Barrett has been a 20-point per game scorer in his career, and Emmanuel Quickley can just keep improving with the expanded role he has now. Jordan Nwora has shown some flashes of being a really nice 3-point shooter and shot creator during his time with the Bucks and Pacers, and Bruce Brown's a really interesting piece here as well. He's on a 2-year, $45 million contract right now, where that second season, next season, is a team option. Bruce Brown is a great glue guy and impact player for a good team, so I would not be surprised if the Raptors move him this offseason for a decent return to just keep stockpiling more assets. So going forward for the rest of this season, the Raptors aren't going to be like atrocious. They have pieces like I mentioned, Scottie Barnes, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, so they're not going to do like a San Antonio Spurs level tank job, but it's not a team that's insured into the play-in tournament. So they can go into this offseason with 2 first-round picks, their own being a lottery pick and that Indiana Pacers pick, which should fall outside of the lottery, plus tons of movable contracts. Going into 2025, they will have Bruce Brown and his $23 million, Jakob Poeltl making $19.5 million, Dennis Schroeder making $13 million, Chris Boucher making $10 million, you get my point. All very movable contracts, so the Raptors will have a lot of flexibility, instead of being kind of trapped into mediocrity, which likely would have been the case if they kept Pascal Siakam on the roster. So from the Toronto Raptors perspective, I would give this move an A-, which is the same grade I would have given them on the OG Anunoby trade. So congratulations, Masai Ujiri. On both trades you have made this season, you have the Sports Ball Network seal of approval. Now let's go to the Indiana Pacers side of things. They gave up a pretty good haul for Pascal Siakam, but they did get Pascal Siakam, a 2-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA player, and so far this season he's averaging 22.2 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and almost 5 assists per game. And in the current NBA, that's the kind of package you need to give up to land a star like Pascal Siakam. DeJounte Murray went for 3 first-round picks, James Harden went for 2 first-round picks and a swap. That's just how it goes. Many years ago, teams were hesitant to include multiple first-round picks in a deal, but now, you want to get your hands on an all-star caliber player? Yeah, 2 to 3 first-round picks, that's what it takes. But is this a good move for the Indiana Pacers? Well, this was definitely their time to make a move. Tyrese Halliburton's extension kicks in next year, so that will begin to limit their financial flexibility. And also the Pacers have been quite good this year, so making a buying move makes sense. Pascal Siakam should fit the timeline of the Indiana Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton and Mathurin are the young guys at 23 and 21 years old, but they do have veterans like Buddy Hield, who's 31, Miles Turner, who's 27, so it does make sense as a connecting piece. So how will Pascal Siakam fit in from a basketball perspective? Obviously, the offense will still run primarily through Tyrese Halliburton when he returns from his hamstring sprain, because he's that elite ball handler and facilitator that gets the offense into its sets. He will continue to light it up from outside. He's shooting over 40% on over 8 3-point attempts per game, and he's more than capable of drawing in the defense by driving and finding open shooters in the corner. On offense though, Pascal Siakam can do a lot for the Indiana Pacers. He can get himself into the paint, either in an off-ball or on-ball manner, and he shoots the ball well when he gets there. He takes 6 shots per game within the paint and connects on more than 71% of those opportunities. And although it's not his forte, he can spread the floor out too. He does shoot 32% on almost 4 3-point opportunities per game. He can be a secondary ball handler and shot creator for this Indiana Pacers team, and it's always good to have more of those kind of guys. Another thing, they can legitimately run 5-out sets, with lineups like Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Benedict Mathurin or Aaron Nesmith, Siakam, and Miles Turner. There really isn't a below-average shooter in that entire lineup. The combo of Siakam and Miles Turner is an interesting one down low as well. They're both big-bodied guys. Siakam is like 6'8 or 6'9, while Miles Turner's about 7 foot. And Miles Turner's obviously an extremely unique specimen in the NBA, pretty much being an interior 3-and-D player. For his entire career, he's averaged over 33% from 3 and 2 blocks per game, so pairing him with Pascal Siakam, who's a good team defender and a good perimeter defender for the power forward position, I think they can do really, really well together. Obviously, as a result of trading for a star power forward, Obi Toppin will go back to a permanent bench role, which sucks for him, I guess, because he was in the midst of a career year as a result of being the starter. Everyone knows that Obi Toppin is a great lob threat for Tyrese Halliburton, but he was scoring almost 12 points per game on over 40% shooting from outside. Still, him moving to the bench only improves their depth, and the Pacers can stagger their starters in a really interesting way with Obi Toppin. Siakam does have some experience playing the 5 in Toronto, and if Indiana wants to throw some different looks at a team, they can play Siakam at the small ball 5 to have a team that will run super fast in transition, a lot of guys who can defend multiple positions, and a team, once again, full of guys who can shoot. Siakam is not that elite rim protector like Miles Turner, but like I said, he is a solid team defender, and there are plenty of teams who make small ball lineups work in small doses. So a grade for the Indiana Pacers, I'd probably say a solid B+. This is the team that Indiana will likely roll with for a while. They would not have made this trade with these assets if they were not sure they were going to re-sign Siakam, but that's not a bad thing. Indiana is a smaller market team, and they now have 2 all-star caliber players locked in on multi-year contracts. They have the veterans like Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and they have some young guys who still have room to grow, like Benedict Mathurin, who could become a legit third option, and Jarace Walker. In my mind, this definitely makes them a team to watch in the postseason. The East is really cluttered in the middle right now, and as long as they can stay out of the play-in tournament where they would have to play Boston and Milwaukee, they have a pretty good chance of winning a first-round matchup if everyone stays healthy. But honestly, who knows? They've already played Milwaukee really well this season. I think they're 4-1 against them, so anything is possible. While neither side involved in the deal lost the deal per se, like I said, I gave out A- and B+ rankings, there is a loser I want to point out, and that is the Atlanta Hawks. Obviously, they have not had the season they were hoping for thus far, and it seems like a move needs to be made regarding DeJounte Murray now. He's on the last year of his deal, and the Hawks owner has said he will not spend incessant money on a team that he does not feel is good enough to compete for a championship. Pascal Siakam was the trade target that made sense for them if they were going to make a buying move with DeJounte Murray, but with him off the market now, it seems like they're in a tough spot. It seems like they almost have to trade DeJounte Murray now, whether it be to the Knicks, Lakers, or some other team, and they will not recoup the value they gave up for him, which was 3 first-round picks. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Pacers and Raptors both come out as winners here? And do you think the Pacers can make some real noise in the postseason? This has been the Sports Ball Network, and I will see you guys in the next basketball video. Peace.